So, I am pissed about this next story that I'm going to share with you guys. California bill decriminalizing psychedelic drugs delayed until next year. So I have talked about this bill all the time on this channel because if it were passed, it would be the most transformational decriminalization legislation in all of North America, both based on the merits of the substance of the bill itself and also the fact that California is the largest state in the Union. It has a greater population than the entire country of Canada. So if they were to pass this decriminalization bill, it would have reverberations across the political climate across North America. So if this bill were passed, what would it actually do? Well, first, it would decriminalize the possession and use of substances like DMT, MDMA, LSD, and psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in magic mushrooms. It would also allow and permit the growing of magic mushrooms and other psilocybin fungi at home by individuals. Now, this bill had been watered down somewhat as it passed through different Senate and Assembly committees. For example, they took ketamine off the list of allowed substances. They took out a section on social sharing, and they also added limits to the amount of each substance a person could carry. But despite these limitations that were added, this was still the most transformational decriminalization bill in all of North America. And now, as you just saw, it has been delayed. And as we are going to get to in just a minute, I'm going to talk about why I think this delay is more like a indefinite cancellation, and this bill is never going to see the light of day. It's donezo, finito, finished. Throw out the prospect of this bill ever passing, which honestly makes me cry, because if you listen to my most recent video, which was honestly a fantastic video, I'll link it at the end of this one, the top 5 catalysts for the psychedelic medicines industry for the second half of 2021, you'll hear me say that I thought this bill was very likely to pass, which wasn't always the case. Originally, I thought this bill had 0 chance of passing, but after it made it through like the dozen different Senate committees, passed the Senate itself, and then passed all the different committees for the Assembly, and all it had to do was pass the Assembly before being re-voted on in the Senate and go to the governor's desk for signature, I actually thought, stupid me, ignorant me, I actually thought that this bill had a chance at passing. But I've been thrown back down to the ground. I no longer have my false illusions. I now believe that this bill is dead. And again, we're going to get to that in just a moment. But to be fair, first we're going to read Scott Wiener's statement on the matter. And Scott Wiener is the state senator who proposed this bill, who put it forward. And he is about as good as it gets when it comes to politicians on the psychedelic medicines industry. So let's go ahead and hop right into his press release. You can see here it says Scott Wiener representing Senate District 11. Senator Scott Wiener's Senate Bill 519, which decriminalizes possession and personal use of certain psychedelic drugs, will now become a 2-year bill. Translation: it has been postponed. The bill thus remains alive and will be eligible to move forward next year. Again, this looks like they are looking at the issue through rose-colored glasses. Something undeniably bad has happened. This bill has been postponed, perhaps indefinitely, and they are looking at it through rose-colored glasses saying, oh, it's just been delayed until next year. This groundbreaking legislation moves significantly further than anticipated, passing the full Senate and passing all of its Assembly policy committees. That said, more time was needed to lay the educational groundwork with members and the public to ensure the bill's success. So, this is the most important sentence, I think, in the entire press release, the fact that they needed to lay the educational groundwork for the members of the Assembly before it could pass. So what this is saying is, as it currently stands, the Assembly did not have the votes to pass this bill because its members were not educated enough, which to me, honestly, defies belief. How could it be that after a year of being debated in various bodies of the legislature, in the Senate and then the Assembly, how could it be that these Assembly men and women have not learned that A, these substances are non-addictive, B, it's impossible to overdose on them, and C, there is a preponderance of evidence that show that they are useful in treating crippling mental health disorders such as PTSD, specifically in veterans, and also anxiety and depression. If they haven't learned this after a year, I don't know how much educational groundwork is going to be needed to convince them otherwise. Again, as it looks to me, It seems like they just didn't have the support to pass this in the assembly, so they are delaying it until next year and hoping that some education is going to help these people who are against the bill get on the right side of history. And I just don't think that's going to happen. But getting back to the article, delaying full assembly consideration of the bill until next year will allow the SB F19 coalition of advocates and supporters, which includes veterans who have used psychedelics to treat PTSD, parents whose children overcame addiction with psychedelic therapy, and physicians to capitalize on the momentum from this year while building support in the assembly for next year. Decriminalizing psychedelics remains an urgent issue. Research from top medical universities show that these substances have significant benefits, particularly for treating mental health and substance use disorders. Decriminalizing their personal possession and use is part of the larger movement to end the racist war on drugs and its failed and destructive policies. Now we're going to read the statement from Senator Wiener himself. He says, "While I'm disappointed we couldn't pass SB 519 this year, I'm heartened that the bill moved as deep into the process as it did, and that we have a realistic chance of passing it next year." I'm a hell of a lot less optimistic than Senator Wiener that we have any chance of passing this next year after this delay happened. Getting back to his statement, given that this idea has never before been introduced in the legislature, our progress is a testament to the power of the issue and the urgency of the need to act. I'm so grateful to my colleagues for working with us and advocating or advancing, the bill so significantly. Now that we have more time, I'm optimistic through education and member engagement we can pass this critical legislation next year. Again, he says that he is optimistic. I think there is zero chance in hell. If they haven't already got the educational framework to pass this bill by now, they're not going to get it in a year from now. And it also doesn't say in this whether it's being delayed until January or if it's being delayed until September. It's kind of an open-ended delay or an indefinite delay, if you will. Decriminalizing psychedelics is an important step in ending the failed war on drugs, and we are committed to this fight. Our mental health crisis is worse than ever, and psychedelics have shown great promise in treating mental health issues from PTSD to anxiety and depression. I look forward to working hard to continue this fight. So, again, just going back to what I believe is the key statement here, that they are not educated enough on the matter yet. I honestly don't understand how that can be the case. We have study after study that are showing these basic facts, that they're not addictive, that you can't overdose on it, and that it is helpful for PTSD, addiction, depression, anxiety, etc. And honestly, I'm going to put on a little bit of a tinfoil hat here, guys, so excuse me as I get a little bit of conspiratorial and share some of my suspicions. We don't know yet who are the congressmen and women who are against this bill? Who are the people that are responsible for pushing this back? But when we find out, if we ever find out who these individuals are, we need to take a long and hard look at who is financing their campaigns and see if there are any potential conflicts of interest here. Say, I don't know, maybe the pharmaceuticals industry is funding them, or maybe we have some people from the prison industrial complex funding their campaigns. And again, I don't know if this is the case, this is just a random guess, but it wouldn't surprise me, and I doubt it would surprise any of you to learn that people that are ending this bill, people who are stopping people from getting the treatment they need, are benefiting from this. And again, I'm just going to take off my little tinfoil hat here, because again, that's all speculation. I have no evidence to back that up, don't even know who they are, but yeah, I believe that is a very real possibility. And that is the first reason that I think that this bill is done so. If there isn't enough support now, for whatever reason, whether or not they're funded by the pharmaceutical and prison industrial complex industries or not, if there's not enough support now, I don't think there's going to be enough support in a few months or in a year or ever. So that is the first reason why I think this bill is donezo's. The second reason is there is a recall election happening in California right now to take away their somewhat unpopular governor, Governor Newsom. Now, I don't have any opinion on Governor Newsom. I'm not going to wade into that shitstorm there. But if he is booted out of office, the most likely person to take his throne is a guy named Larry Elder, who is a hard right-winger on basically any issues as you go through them. You can see he is more Trump than Trump sometimes. So the likelihood that even if the Senate and the Assembly were to pass this bill, if it came to Larry Elder's desk, he'd probably take one look at it and be like, legalization of psychedelics? What kind of liberal conspiracy is that? So, yeah. If this does happen, if Gavin Newsom gets booted out and Larry Elder gets put in his place, the bill is even more dead than it already is. Now, I'm sorry for getting a little bit political on y'all. I don't like doing that on this channel. I like staying as apolitical as possible. But I just want to get across that far and away, the message of this story is that the California political establishment are full of cowards. This is a cowardful? Cowardly, that's it. This is a cowardly move by the California Democrats to delay this bill. And they're going to keep delaying it and delaying it and delaying it until it never happens. So yes, I am pissed about this. And I hope you guys are all pissed too, because this shows it's a microcosm of everything that is wrong with our political system. So if you agree with me, type down in the comment section, cowards, so that we can hopefully, even though it will be a little tiny message, we can send a tiny message, and hopefully this video gets picked up a little bit and more people see it. So yeah, if you want to help that out, if you want to help spread this message, just type cowards down in the comment section. And that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share the video with your mom, show it to your dog, hit that notifications bell, you know, all that good stuff, hit the button and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. This is James from the Psychedelic Investor, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to check out some of the videos you see on your screen now, including our fantastic top 5 catalysts for the psychedelic medicines industry for the second half of 2021. I'll see you guys next time.